Runs a tight ship. It's 12:01. Get going.
Everybody's got to do the next
Yeah,
one.
just make
I
sure you
know.
kick me under the table.
Okay, I'm officially calling the meeting to order.
We can't hear you, though.
Okay, everyone.
What, I'm pushing, what do I do?
You don't have to push, it's automatic.
Oh, that's what I thought. Now. They're controlling it over here. Okay, thank you all, mic control people. So pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that decisions of the Nashville Public Library Board may be appealed to the Transfer Court of Davidson County for review. Under common law writ of certiorari, any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. Pursuant to TCA 84412, time is reserved at the beginning of the library board meetings for which there is an actionable item on the agenda for public comment germane to items on the agenda. Up to 5 people will be allowed up to 3 minutes each to speak. Speakers must register within 1/2 hour prior to the beginning of the meeting by signing their names on a physical sign-up sheet available at the entrance and identifying any agenda item on which they intend to comment. Do we have anyone who has signed up to speak? Okay. Being there none, I don't really have any comments, so I'm not gonna, try to take up time. It's been a great month. Things are slowed down during the summertime. And so I'm just gonna then go right to approval of minutes from May the 20th.
Madam Chair, so move.
Okay, there's a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
I noticed in the notes, Madam Chair, that
HR has been pretty busy.
working on new hires and promotions and things of that type of nature. And,
Yes, and you
and what
notice
I
in
do
the
like is that resignation is really small, so that shows that the library has a really good culture and
Yes.
environment.
That's
So appreciate that.
And you notice in the minutes that you were elected as
That's what you get for not being
in
here.
your absence.
And I humbly accept it. I definitely appreciate the position. Thank you all, and I will do my best to serve you to the best of my ability.
So are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
My only comment was that I wasn't here for the meeting, so I read them carefully, and they are
good.
terrific.
Okay, great.
And there's always good news in them until you read Terry's.
We were jealous. We wanted to be with you.
Yeah. But Terry's, your update is full of so many amazing things that go on at the library. It's terrific and stunning and all that.
And may I add something else? What I like is the branch services division. It really shows not just downtown, huh?
That's Jenna.
Good job, Jenna. It really shows how we're making an impact in Davidson County.
Yep.
I know that we are so-called music city or entertainment city. We're the education city. But when you look at the library, you're the information, innovation resource that makes our city heartbeat what it is today. So, like I say, looking at the branch services area, it kind of makes me really proud of the impact that you all are making in our community.
Thank you, Charles. We still have a motion on the floor. We had all in favor who said aye, but we never said who was not in favor.
Apology, Madam Chair.
Anybody not in favor? Okay, motion approved unanimously. See, somebody would say we did something. But we do encourage everybody to read the minutes because
They're great.
They're packed
I read
full
them
of
all the time.
information. With that, Terry, for the library director report.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to start with a brief I did not put the fire in the garage on the agenda because we are still awaiting results from the restoration company and the environmentalist who will be giving some of those initial things to us tomorrow, and then we will initiate another update to library staff and to key stakeholders. But as I reported in my latest update, the main library will be closed until July the 7th. The final air filters, which were just replaced placed a month ago, now have to be ordered, and there's other steps in the process that we're going through. But we got an incredible update this morning. We met with the folks for an hour and a half. So we have a really, in my opinion, they are they're nationally known and respected, and I have even more respect now that we've actually met with them. I do want to send some thank yous out for all of this. Thank you to the Nashville Fire Department. Chief Swan and the fire marshal were talking to me first thing the morning after. NDOT for their quick response. If the fire department hadn't been as quick, we would probably have had the fire carry over into the main library. I want to thank our staff for their quick response. I want to let people know that assessment crew, Susan, worked immediately with our maintenance staff to get 3 quotes for, it ended up 2, for the restoration process. And Susan and the team had somebody in place, like this happened at 3 o'clock Tuesday morning. Someone was already in place. There's 100 staff, 24/7, 2 12-hour shifts working. So they are, doing it as much as they can, as quickly as they can, but we want to be very intentional that it's done correctly. And that's what I really appreciated in hearing from them today. I'm really proud of how the team has come together to minimize customer service disruptions. Delivery was relocated within days. A huge thank you to the branches for stepping in, and everybody worked quickly to provide timely information to customers and to news media. We have also already engaged April, who is the director of homeless services, to let those folks know what are other locations that they can visit during this time. Education and literacy programs are already headed into the community this summer. So for those things that normally would have come to Maine, they actually are going out to provide those programs. Great online programming, thanks to NPL Universe. And the last part I'll say about that, the main damage is that our commitment moving forward is that what is always has been, that we will navigate unprecedented challenges. We'll work together and we'll take things step by step, prioritizing the safety of our customers and our staff, and get creative to continue serving our customers. So while we don't have this experience, we've had the pandemic and other things when buildings were closed. So we will make sure that the least amount of disruption to our customers, and for our staff and customers to be safe. So that's the part about the main library. I'm really excited to share with you today that Emily Krebill has accepted the position for the administrative and statistical specialist. Emily, I know. You may remember seeing Emily. She has been working as the office support specialist for branch services. And so with this position on hold for the true-up budget, Emily has really helped me over the past 3 years when I didn't have somebody in that position. So I'm sorry for Jenna, but very happy for myself. I know, as a Jenna. So she's been very gracious about it. So the next thing I just wanted to mention is congratulations to Jamil, manager of the Adult Literacy Program, and Martasia, our grants coordinator. They collaborated on an application, and NPL is one of 11 recipients out of 1,800 applicants. Oh, wow. I know, this is phenomenal. The grant is funded by the Carnegie Corporation, and it provides $450,000 over the next 2 years. So with the support of the Carnegie Corporation in New York, the adult literacy team will collaborate with local organizations, including the Nashville International Center for Empowerment and the Branch of Nashville, to launch leveled English as a second language classes at select branch locations. This new initiative, in my mind, exemplifies NPL's unwavering commitment to creating an environment where every voice is heard and valued, fostering a profound sense of belonging of every patron who enters our libraries. So really just kudos to Jamil and Martasia for working together to have that happen. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the Donaldson branch, this is the second thing that they've been shortlisted for. They did win the other award for being, the green and sustainability for the library, but they're also on the short list with two other libraries. One is in China, the other one in Paris, France. So in August, during the conference, they will actually be giving out the award. So I just want to say kudos to Kate Wingate because she initiated and brought this to everyone's attention and to all the staff that actually worked on this. Some marketing staff worked on it and different staff members. So she worked closely with Ryan Darrow and Bailey, who are both at Donaldson, and Joan in the marketing department. So, I mean, it's just like, when you have a day like you did last Tuesday, these are the kind of things that you're like celebrating because they are really amazing. I want to thank, the next thing on my list is Sarita Butler in Limitless Libraries and her supervisor, Linda Harrison. They had two special events in May. The first one was that they hosted some of the MNPS media specialists and did a themed dinner. Shared Systems, 90 school librarians and the clerks were a part of this celebration. And they actually did 2 school library programs of the year winners as part of the program. And so Limitless Libraries sponsored that this year, and then MNPS is going to be doing that for next year. So just a great collaboration between MNPS and our school librarians. So I want to thank Sarita and Linda for putting that together. The second thing that they hosted was our annual Battle of the Books, always super popular. And I know Linda was actually there helping during that. So we welcome 25 middle school teams to compete, and they also listened to an amazing author presentation, and they received copies of her books, and they got to eat pizza, that ever popular. So the West End Middle School emerged as the day's winner, and the defending champ Meg's Magnet came in second, and MLK Magnet was third. So it's really, in my mind, in this digital world, it's so inspiring that we still have middle school students that still physically read a book and engage in the conversation, and they take it very seriously. So that was that. The next thing is that Jenna has been coordinating and with Susan and her staff, we just did the Green Hills community input sessions. So I was amazed to see that not only was the public invited for the, in-person input, but we had over 500 people respond to the online survey. So a lot of people care about that renovation and have provided us with input, and now Susan and her team and Jenna and the Green Hill staff will proceed in the design development phase, and then we'll let you know probably late fall when Green Hills will close for their major renovation. And the last thing I hope that you read in my email to you all was the incredible compliment from the Donaldson mom. I mean, it was just like, I'm not a crier, but it brought tears to my eyes because of I mean, she just made, I mean, it had to take her so much time because there were like 10 reasons that she was thanking Ryan and his staff for what that library means to them and to their family and representation that the staff brings as part of that. So I'm not going to read all those to you, but I mean, those are the kind of things that help to get us through the next couple months with the main library.
So the Donaldson Design Award, I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at you kindly sent
Link.
links to some of the other nominations. Oh my goodness. It is, I mean, it's phenomenal. Like the Chinese winner had all these branches. It looks like an Amazon warehouse with the way they move the books around. You really learned about excellence in libraries. So thank you.
And I will report next month on my trip to Toronto to the Urban Libraries Council's roundtable for
about to ask about
the
that.
CEOs. I honestly, with everything happening since last week, I didn't have it. I could talk a little bit, but I really would love for y'all to hear what I learned.
So a couple questions from an operational standpoint, since that's somewhat of my background. So with the library being closed to July 7th, are the people going to work remotely, or are they being dispatched to other branches? And then with the Green Hill renovation, what's going to happen within that staff? Are they going to be dispatched as well? They're going to work remotely?
Yes, so that's an excellent question. So there are staff at Maine that, so the public service staff from Maine, Jenna and Kyle are working together, and they have been out in the branches working already since last week. And then we also are, when you think about our main phone line, like that goes out of Maine. And so that is actually at Edmondson Pike, and Valerie, who answers the phone, is there doing that. And then the staff that normally work at Maine that can work from home, they are all working from home. So. And then for Green Hills, we'll do the similar thing. Jenna always has a list of like what branches, might have vacancies, and then they end up filling in at those locations.
Excellent.
Anybody else with questions or comments? Well, I do. Terry always gives a fabulous report, but she never, of course, she's humble. She never compliments herself. I want to tell you that on the day of the fire, Terry woke, I think it was about 6:30 in the morning, Terry called me.
Oh, I
So
called you.
I appreciate the not necessarily being woken up at 6:30, but I appreciate the communication so that we knew what was going on before I could hear it on television or anything like that. And then she got back with me again at about, I want to say 11, it was 10:30 or 11 o'clock. She was there, but she was talking in the car and doing all these things. And true to Terry's gifting, she's always very much concerned about the staff and the customers. And she was worried because the staff, the maintenance staff and security had been at that library since 3 o'clock in the morning. And so she was trying to find a way to take them food so that she could be sure that they ate. So that we know it just underscored the fact to me that is always her concern, what is happening with the staff and ensuring the safety and just their overall well-being. The decisions that were made, I think her experience in the fire that happened in the previous library where she was, she drew up on all of that. Plans went, after she got up on at the building, the next call I got, I want to say, was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they had already planned, she along with the staff, senior staff had already planned what they were going to do, and so I never felt there was a problem. We knew about the fire, but we knew everything would be taken care of, and everybody would have what they felt was utmost safety, their health, how the customers were going to be served, with least, with least inconvenience. I think she had taken all of that to account. So I just want to thank Terry for all that she did in that emergency.
Thank you, Joyce. But I have to just say that I have such an incredible team. Like Linda is texting me, should we get on a call at 9 that first morning? And so we were all on a call at 9 o'clock that morning. Susan, her experience and with procurement and all of those things. I mean, and Sherry with HR. I mean, everybody really, I need a team because I can't know everything, and that team that I have is incredible. And Fanta getting information out, all of that. So I'm just really grateful for that team and how everybody has come together this week.
Thank the team as well, because we know that it's stressful to do all of that. But thanks everybody for writing. So I just want to give the staff a salute and thank you all for all we do. We see you. We really do. Sean, I don't know how you top that, but
I don't. I'm not going to try either. But I'll just quick add my note of appreciation to Terry for the communication. I think I heard a lot from our board, from the foundation board, about concerns. And so being able to report back to them in a very timely way. Terry also was very mindful of donors and some concern that specific donors may have about their investments in the library. And so the fact that she was able to think through some of these details that were, not immediately in front of her, allowed for me to be able to share what I knew. So just appreciate the partnership around the communication. Just a couple things. Actually, I was in San Diego on Tuesday morning when we heard about the fire. There's an International Public Library fundraising conference that takes place annually. So I was able to go to that, and it was so refreshing. Claudia Schenk, who's on my team, also went with me, and I was telling somebody, I felt like we were a little bit like celebrities. Like we would just say, oh, I'm Sean and I'm from Nashville. And people were like, oh, Nashville, you all have the amazing system. Like the reputation beyond Nashville is, it's pretty powerful in terms of what the library here is doing. And that really is known throughout the nation. And so when you're at places, I know Linda has said she felt like a star with the bookmobile, but I think many of the staff when we're out, it's not just locally that people recognize the amazing work of the library, but it's also across the country. We are looked at as one of the leaders. So it was just nice to be able to continue to be reminded of the great things that are happening here. I did actually have the opportunity, Terry mentioned the Carnegie Corporation. There were 11 libraries that were funded, and all 11 were represented at this conference. So the Carnegie Corporation took all of us hosted us for dinner, and just to be able to talk about the collective work of each of these libraries across the country. So again, being able to experience some of the greatness of what the library is doing here and celebrate that with some of the colleagues across the country. Many of you were present for the May 21st budget process, and just want to thank, we had over 30 people in support of Terry and Susan as they presented the budget, and that was, again, they did a great job, and I know Andrea Fanta was also very instrumental in pulling that presentation together. Would just encourage you to continue to let your council members know our message is fully fund the library. And so I know some of you have done a great job even of reaching out and received great responses already from council members. But those efforts are making a big difference. So thank you, and just continue on. We did do response, a shared message out to the to our mailing list, and asked people to take action, and we had over 500 people respond to that. So again, people are engaged and want to figure out how to support the library. We are wrapping up our fiscal year, and I'm happy to report we will meet our fundraising target. So that's good news for the library, and we'll be able to continue to support the library at the level, and are working now with our program managers and staff. There's a few areas that have some underspending, so trying to get creative of what are some needs that are still present that we can potentially reallocate some funding. So this is kind of always a fun time of year of being able to celebrate and also potentially think a little bit creative with some of the funds that are remaining.
Thank you. Any questions for Sean?
I'd love to know, what are the 11 libraries that the Carnegie Foundation supports?
I will have to get back with you. Or Linda, do you know? Okay.
I mean, is
I
it
can-
Chicago, New York, LA, and we're like
It's
in...
it's not just the big ones. But it's all focused, they all have the adult literacy component. Jamil, who's the library staff coordinating the effort, was very proud to just say the approach that Nashville's taking, though, is a little bit different than a lot of the other library systems, in the sense of, and in the true spirit of how Nashville operates, it's in partnering. So it's not just running an adult literacy program from the library team, but it's partnering and connecting all the resources together, but offering branches as the kind of hub and the place, and branches throughout the community who will be providing these adult literacy programs. So it's building on what they're already doing, but just allowing Jamil and his team to do so much more of it. And I'm happy to include in the minutes, we can get a list of all the other systems that are doing it.
Thank you. And I do want to say that when Sean asked us to send messages to the council people and send it to our own council people, I was an overachiever on behalf of the library and sent one to every council person and asked them simply, well, just said simply that it's because of their support that the library is one of the best in the country. And we just hope that they would support the full budget for the library to keep us in that position. And got back so many great responses. So, yeah.
I think Kate could say the same in terms
Yeah.
of responses back.
Yeah.
Well, they all said, well, this council person needs to know about it, and this one does too. Like, did this not reply all, but a multifaceted response that is, again, evidence that they are thinking about
They're thinking about it, yeah.
the library.
Yeah. So thank you for prompting us to do that. Yeah.
Thank you for responding.
Okay, new business, special collections, updated reproduction request form. Kathleen.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm Kathleen Fiducia. I'm the Special Collections Librarian who oversees our image collections
Is her mic
and
on?
our image
Her
request.
mic is not on.
Is it not? Okay.
I
It's
don't know
on
if
now.
you want to go up to the front so everybody can see
I think it's
you,
on
maybe.
now.
You got it.
Okay.
Thanks, Forrest. So we are requesting updated forms for our image request process, and we're asking for them for a couple of reasons. First, to simplify our fee structure. The current fee structure was set in 2007, so it includes pricing for things that we're not asked for anymore, prints, which we no longer do, video cassettes, CD-ROMs, things like that, that we don't need, so we're trying to make that a little bit simpler. Secondly, we want our forms to more accurately address the copyright status of the materials that we hold and the uses that are requested by our customers. So our current forms give us two choices. We have a reproduction-only form, and then we have a form for publication, which asserts in the first line that NPL holds copyright. We have materials in our collection that would be available for publication, but we don't hold copyright, so we don't want to assert that. It might be public domain, it might be something that we're in relationship with the donor, and we can get that permission for people, so we need to have a form that is a little bit more flexible. So the new forms that we're requesting are not based on copyright status, but more on the proposed usage. So I'm going to kind of talk about the 4 documents that you have that we need approval for. And then
It
if
starts
you-
on page 55 of your
Okay.
board packet.
And after I go through them, I'll answer any questions that you might have. So the first thing is the image duplication and publication. Did you find it?
Actually, Kathleen is further back
Oh,
in the packet. Page 53.
Okay, 53, okay. Yeah, okay, we see it now.
So the first one. And we didn't change any of our policies. The only changes to that document were in the fee structure. So we updated those. The $15 fee for reproduction is the same as it has been. And then we have kind of streamlined our use cases. We looked at what our most common fees were and kind of where people landed, and that's how we came up with those 2 fees. So we are now going from a page and a half of fees based on how many, copies of book you're printing or what your magazine circulation is, to just a flat rate based on what that is. Then there's also a request for reproduction. The last is page 59. And that's just somebody who wants a copy for their personal use or for research. Their grandmother's picture was in the Nashville Banner and they would like to have a copy. That's the form we use for that. It's a $15 charge to cover just that reproduction. So that's all that is. They're not publishing it. They're not doing anything with it. And then we also have then request for permission to publish. That would be a $25 fee. That's going to be the bulk of the requests we get. People who are putting one of our images in their book or in a magazine, on display, in a museum, whatever that might be. And those are very similar. The language in the request for permission to publish and then the request for worldwide permission to publish, it's very similar language. It's just that sometimes that last form is the worldwide permission, and that's something that usually production companies, documentarians, people like that, they want to know that they can put their film or their piece, their work, across platforms. They can stream it, they can broadcast it, whatever the case may be. So those are rights that we are asked for specifically by production companies primarily. So that would be a $100 fee, and that would cover all of their uses.
Are any of these requests, and forgive me for asking this ignorant question, are any of these requests kept in a database?
So we keep a list of all the requests. We keep the forms when they sign the form. So we do have that information. So we can go back. We have done so far this year 38 requests. And that could be for one image. It could be for 10 or 15.
So you speak of a flat rate. Are there any possible circumstances where the flat rate would not be sufficient for a large reproduction request?
If we had something that they needed really specialized resolution, something that we could not do, and we have done this in the past for people, if they need something highly specialized, we'll outsource it and let them pay something that we can't do in-house. But it's I think we've done it once or twice in 8 years that I've been there. So this is going to cover the vast majority of the requests that we get.
I think Katie and then Kate.
Go
ahead. Well, so you're just trying to cover your costs.
It does not cover our costs. The fees go to general fund, Metro General Fund. So we don't recoup anything. The costs, the forms, the fee structure was established back in 2007, I think, so we have kind of maintained that. Keeping the process, the tracking of the forms and all that is a way for us to be sure we are following the copyright restrictions, keep track of donor restrictions, things like that. So we want to keep that process instead of, just kind of a free-for-all. And having the fee does help people focus their request. So we do like to be able to say, okay, it helps kind of put some parameters on.
Because the value to me, if I write an article and it's published in a magazine that's seen by many, many people, or a book that has a life forever, it seems like I, as the author of that article or book, might be willing, it's a more valuable image. And so that could be reflected in a price. Maybe that's too complicated.
We try to keep our fees reasonable. We don't want them to be burdensome. We are certainly cheaper to come to us and get a banner image than it is to contact Gannett to get a Tennessean image.
Yeah.
So we do want the images to be used, but we want to have a little bit of we want to have a hand in how they're being used and make sure that we are honoring any donor restrictions, any copyright restrictions, anything like that. So.
Are these services offered at only the main branch, or
Yes.
is it offered at all the branches?
Just the special collections materials are held at Maine.
Okay.
This is really just a small question, but you alluded to, you looked at other fee structures. This seems so reasonable to me. Now that I know that it goes to the general fund and not back to us, I'm probably less likely in raising it. But I am curious when you say we looked at others. Who are some of the others?
San Francisco Public, that's, I think, what these are primarily based on. We looked at theirs. I looked at places that had kind of similar collections. University of Memphis also has a newspaper collection, but they don't hold copyright to that newspaper collection, so all of their fees and everything are run through Gannett for the materials that they hold. So they'll fill the request, but all the permissions comes from someone else. The state library does not license. You can request a reproduction and that's it. And some of that is, I think, a difference in the copyright status of the materials. If it's state materials, if they're public domain, or if they're government records, they're in a little bit of a different situation than we are with our materials that are likely under copyright. Same for Metro Archives. Their process is a little bit different. They have some statutory requirements that they have to follow and things like that.
I know that we have had discussion in the past on why we would bring fees to the board for approval when, normally the staff would do that. But we brought this to you today because this is more than that. This is a policy changes, updates in terms of technology, all of that. So we're not just simply approving fee changes today. These are policies regarding reproduction.
And I really appreciate the cleaning up of all the things that don't exist anymore and getting that out of the policy.
So I'll entertain a motion I know we've had discussion already, but entertain some motion.
To accept the
I
provisions.
would second that.
Second, so we'll have a motion on the floor to accept the policies presented for reproduction, special collections reproduction. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. Susan, autism grant.
Yes,
What page are we on?
you are on page 60 through 90. This is a grant. We received allocated funds through RS 2023-1947 back at the end of fiscal year 24 for participatory budget. This is just one component of that participatory budget, and it was requested that we offer sex education classes to autistic adults. And that was very specific in the participatory budget. So this is a grant between Nashville Public Library and Autism Tennessee. They are going to provide 2 6-week weekly series to autistic adults. One will be held, there will be two series. One will be held at Hermitage, one will be held elsewhere, either in the south or west parts of Davidson County. They're 6 weekly courses, 90 minutes each. And this grant is the grant, it's a $50,000 grant to Tennessee, Autism Tennessee.
Will the TV series there's a TV series about this. Is this in any way, is there any connection at all?
Know about this.
No. So, the participatory budget process, they asked Davidson County residents what they would like to see funded. This came out of those sessions, and so we are respecting that and trying to get that in the works. And this grant will cover it. Does anybody have any questions?
So Metro Council approved the participatory budget funds, and we're like the conduit.
Correct.
Okay,
We're making it happen.
yeah,
Yes.
great.
One question regarding the target audience. You reference, of course, artistic people, but then it says including people with IDD. What is IDD?
I think it's intellectually development delays, I think.
Yes.
Google it
Okay.
and see.
Good, I got it right.
Oh, yeah. Google it and see. I was just saying, Google it and see. But probably so. Google has an answer for everything.
We don't Google anymore. We go to AI.
I'll just follow up to say that there was an interesting article about this and about the TV show in the New York Times this last week. And if you're a public library, Nashville Public Library card holder, you can get the New York Times for free and read the article. I don't remember what day it was, but it was pretty fascinating, actually.
So Travis is right. IDD is a medical term for intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Yes, IDD.
Refers to a group of conditions that begin during developmental period, birth to age 22, and how it can affect how a person learns. So there you go.
Are we part of any other participatory grants?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, for example, back in 2023, we received funding to put the ionization bipolar machines and all the HVAC systems. That was part of COVID funds, ARP funds. Part of our music lending library has come from that, and now we're trying to figure out how to offer music lessons because that was part of it. We've got some digital inclusion funding. What else? Oh, pollinator gardens. We've got for 3 specific branches that actually already have pollinator gardens, so we're trying to figure out how to get people to those pollinator gardens more easily. That's the bulk of it that I can think of off the top of my head.
Great.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? Need a motion to enter into this agreement?
I so moved enter
Okay.
into the agreement.
Second.
Motion?
Second.
Second, Kate second. To approve the grant contract between Metro and, what is it?
Autism Tennessee.
Autism Tennessee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. We have one abstention. Any nays? Motion carried. You love technology, so the question was asked, who were the other cities receiving the award? So Boston Public Library, Gwinnett County Library in Georgia, Harris County Library in Texas, Kansas City Public Library, Library Foundation of Los Angeles, Nashville Public Library, yay, Plainfield Public Library, New Jersey, Prince William Public Library in Virginia, San Diego Library Foundation, the San Jose Public Library Foundation, Seattle Public Library Foundation. So there you go. It is.
Biggies.
Big American cities. I don't know who sent me this, but thank you.
I think Linda did.
Linda,
Yeah,
thank you.
Linda.
That's what I say, you love technology. You know what? It cuts down on a lot of arguments. You just look it up and you see, you find the answer. I know with my husband that works anyway. I said, we don't have to argue about this. We can find out. Pruitt Library. Anxious to hear that report.
Joyce, before Raymond starts, I just want to say how fortunate we are and how much Raymond loves his community. So when the regional manager resigned, that was Raymond's supervisor a couple of years ago, I came and to do Raymond's performance evaluation, and you're just amazed. He has every Thursday there are meals and food that people in the community can come and get. He gives their barber shop, the students come and give haircuts, and I won't steal all the rest of the things, but just, he is such a gem because he truly understands his community and what they need. Because they're probably not gonna come, every day and get a book, but he knows what his community needs. So Raymond.
And always wears a smile.
I know.
Thank you.
Yes, I do many things that are unorthodox, but it's because of the need of the community. And we, like Terry just said, we do all to meet the needs of the community because there are some spoken needs and some unspoken needs. And you just have to be emotionally intelligent to catch that. And we do it. And that's why on Tuesday, we do have every other Tuesday, there's bingo game here. People like that. They come and they can get all the presents that they can get. We do have a church that helps with that, the Set Free Church, that helps to bring all the presents, and they bring, detergent and everything that the people need in the community. They bring that. So when they play bingo, they get what they want. And we do that on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, we do have a church that comes here also, brings some meals that people just get, and then you warm it up in a microwave. The meal is ready. So you have spaghetti and meatballs and things like that you have. It's good meals. People come on Wednesday between 3:30 and 4:30. They get their meals. And then on Thursday, the good thing with the barbers, they are students, but they need at least to work for 1,500 hours for them to graduate. To get there, you need to have people that you can work on. So we say, hey, it's a win-win situation here. You come and you work, you cut the hair, and then at the same time, you're getting your hours. Perfect, it worked out, so it's good. So they come and the people are very happy and they clean, and then when the barbers don't come, just like now school is out, they're not here. And then of course we have Juneteenth coming, so they were asking, where are the barbers coming? I said, well, Juneteenth is coming up, the library will be closed. Oh, you won't be here? I said, we'll be closed for Juneteenth. They will be open on the 26th, so you can come. The barbers will be here in the morning and also in the afternoon. So they'll be here 10 to noon and then 4 to 6. So they're very happy, and the great thing is that we have the single moms who come here, sometimes with 5 kids, and they didn't know how to take care of those boys, but when they come over here, it's good that after that they have tears on their face, they just come and hug whomever they can find to hug. We just said, thank you very much for what you're doing in the community. So we love to see that. And then on Wednesday, we do all really also to help with free clothes that we give away, shoes and clothes that we give away. People come, they just shop. We just put them here, people come, they get whatever they want, and then they're very pleased to do that. It's great, it's wonderful Thursday. It's when it's very busy at Pruitt. You have people coming from other places that just come to get free meals. As I told you in the past, that we started with 400 meals that we gave away. And I talked to Jennifer. I said, hey, from the Bridge Ministry, I said, would you please bump it up a little bit? So she did 500, and then 600. Now we do 1,100 every Thursday that we give away. People come, they have themselves. And it's good to see that they're very happy, and it doesn't matter the weather. It can be snowing or whatever. Whenever the Bridge Ministry can be here, people line up. They're waiting. Sometimes I tell them, hey, just come and wait in the library. They say, no, I'm gonna miss my spot. I need to be there on time. So they stay there in the cold because they need to get their meal. So, and then we will start in July a support group for people who have cancer. Oh, wow. So we're starting that in July. So I'm excited about that also because many people would like to get together and share their experience and how difficult it is and how they need one another for that. So, yeah, so I'm just going to stop here. There are many other things that I mentioned. And then the thing before I stop is for the notary that we have here. Kim is a notary in the community. Because in the past, I used to tell them, well, you can just go in your bank. That's the way I think. Just go to your bank and you go, but most of them don't bank.
Right.
So I say, oh, no, what are you thinking, Raymond? That is wrong. So that's why I was pushing, and we get into the program now. We do have a notary here. It's good and very easy and convenient. People just come over here instead of me sending them to a bank that doesn't exist anyway. At least they come over here and they get the service. So all this is allowed because of the library administration. You allow me to do that. It's unorthodox for people to come get food from the library instead of getting books and DVDs. But I say, when you're hungry, there's a way for you to read books anyway. You need to feed. You need to eat first. After you eat, then you can think. If your stomach is empty, you can't function. They say in Gambia, they say that your foot take you away from home, but your stomach take you back home. From people here, what they do, they go away from Pruitt, but when they get hungry, they always come here. Mr. Raymond, can I get some food? I say, sure. It's always something. So that's how I'm going to end what I have to share with you. Thank you very much.
I'm writing that down, too.
It is evidently clear you understand the pulse of your community. Quick question. I think what you're doing is really innovative, number one. In addition to all those wonderful programs and taking care of people's needs, because I do believe in definitely the food situation. You know, I just ate sweats, so I'm good. Have y'all teamed up with any like workforce development organizations to help people maybe get jobs like Nashville Rise or Urban League of Middle Tennessee or things like that?
We do it all the time, but now I'm working on another way because just like now, it's summertime. I do have some people want to hire the teens. They're going to pay them.
Wonderful.
But I'm forcing them because the teens don't want to do that. So I'm forcing them to do it. And now what I'm doing because
You're motivating them, not forcing them.
Yes, thank you very much for putting that word. But what I'm doing now, as I know that mothers have great influence over their children, I talk to moms now.
Right.
So when I see the ladies coming over here, I say, hey, you know what? We have this here now. Just like now, there's a program starting for those who want to be chef. You want to be a chef? Sterling comes here all the time. They're going to train you. They're going to pay you for that. And then you can also be a chef. But they want kids age 16 through 19. So I'm trying to tell them it is a good program. Mr. Raymond, I don't like cooking. I say, come on now. Even if you don't like, just try. You like to eat. Just try. You can cook. And then maybe you don't like it to begin with, but just start. Maybe afterwards, you're going to like it. So, and then sometimes, just like 2 days ago, I saw a lady. I say, hey, Mom, I saw you talking with your son, but this is a good program. I told him he doesn't like it, but would you be interested in your son? I said, yes, sir. I'll be glad. Can you make a copy of this? I said, sure. I made a copy of the flyer. I gave it to her. So I know that she's going to tell her son, you need to do this. And when mother say it, children obey. So it's how it works here, even for discipline. When the kids don't listen, we usually call their moms. The moms fix it. So that's why I'm trying to do that also to encourage them to be involved. I have another friend who used to come over here. He wanted to train them to be electricians, to be plumbers, to do that. It's free program. He told them, you're going to make a lot of money. He used to come here. I'll talk with the guy, and I try to recruit the kids. They don't want to do it. So it's hard. That's why I say that I'm working on opening their eyes to understand it is good for you to be independent, to do things that you like, even if when you start you don't like it, but try first, and then you will see that it's going to be good. Try first. It is good to try. So Tom, it's always good to try. So it's where I am now. I'm trying to to encourage them to do a lot. So yes, I do have many people who can help. That's what I'm trying to do here in the community. Thank you, Sheriff. Yes, your question.
One of the things Raymond didn't mention is that they actually go out into the community. So Asia actually goes to schools, and so we don't wait for kids to come here, they go to them, and that's been very effective. And he's very modest because he also didn't say that he speaks 6 languages, right? Yes. So that's comes in, and that's very helpful as well.
Thank you.
So thank you, Raymond, for all you do.
Thank you very welcome.
Thank you. Any questions for? Okay, help me pronounce your last name. Kinzanza?
Kinzunza.
Zunza.
Yes, it's funny
Sure.
because whenever I say my name, when I go to check in the hotel, they say, I say, what's your name? I say, King Nzu. They say, it's a King Nzu. I say, no, I'm not a king. It's not King Nzu, it's a Kin Zunza. Yes, Kin Zunza.
Zunza, Kin
Very
Zunza.
easy, yes.
All right,
Kin
thank you
Zunza.
so much.
I'm very
Well, you
welcome.
asked last month for a conversation on weddings at the library. So, Terry.
Sure. Let me jump right into that. So I have to thank Mamie and for putting together. You have a spreadsheet front and back on what some of the things that you all asked last time were the cost of the space rental, the staff that are there dedicated staff, the capacity, and then any additional information. So Mamie not only did our like libraries, but she also did some of the local venues. So that is actually on the back. I've actually asked Georgia. She is our conference center manager, and Carla is on staff to be with us because she is actually way more of an expert about this and has been doing it. She had outside experience before she came to NPL, and unfortunately she's retiring in July, but we've been so fortunate to have her. So Georgia, you want to come up and have a seat? And then I also, the other thing somebody asked was, what is the amount of money for weddings that we actually get each year? And so Susan has that information for us. So I'm going to open it up for questions. You know, obviously right now we have a little bit of time to discuss this because we won't be in the conference center for a bit. So, Georgia?
Georgia?
I don't know where to start. Do I have any questions?
Where does the funding go? Does it go to the foundation or?
It comes into like a conference center fund. What's it?
Yeah, we have a special revenue fund it goes into.
And then somebody had asked what.
I'm gonna ask kind of the same question I asked last month. This is great information.
It is.
And it's the basis for the question. We are horribly undercharging compared to other venues in Nashville, it seems to me. And I don't know that we want to do it, and so I'm not suggesting that we charge more to do it if in fact it doesn't fit well with our hours of operation and the amount of staff, 0, that we have to devote to it. But it seems as if there was a discussion among staff that this is something that we did want to do. We have the capacity to charge a whole lot more than we're charging.
We do, and I agree. I think weddings are a great source of revenue. But that said, you need to be prepared and staffed for them. So you've booked, a lot of people have booked in the conference center, and when you book, who do you book with? Me.
You.
Who invoice?
You. Who does all the work? You.
And then it trickles down on weddings. We have our small conference center staff, and weddings, they start like on Thursday. And because we're small, we'll set the lobby Friday, start prepping everything. Saturday, those trucks roll in at 7 o'clock. Now, we have the gala, and we have every department on board. And this is one thing I miss about the hotel industry, is every department. All eyes are on that bottom line and on that group. In the library conference center, it's just us. So on the weddings, as many moving parts as the gala, as many people, and we work the dock, we do it all. And so we really need, that's the key thing, is to have more staff. But if you want to hire more staff, from a business perspective, you need to start turning it into an event to pay for that. Either that or partner, like New York Library, with an event venue or someone who can bring in the staff to do all this. So I think it could be done. It just needs to be well thought out and staffed.
And charged appropriately.
Yeah, and so it goes into the resource fund. What would be a meaningful amount of money going into that fund that would make, what do we do with that money? Why are we even talking about being in the wedding business?
That money right now helps us maintain, well, the conference center and the grand reading room, because that's used for events. For example, we had the money to buy the new tables and chairs up in the grand reading room that were desperately needed. The tables we had were falling apart. They were hard to move. We've bought equipment, needed equipment, and that kind of thing, just to help maintain the conference center area. Now, what kind of revenue would be, I have no idea. I mean,
Well-
for example, this year to date, and it's not just wedding money, I ran the report this morning, we've collected this fiscal year 27,000 plus, a little bit over $27,000.
That's not.
And so that's really nothing to what
Right,
we
right.
have made in the past, but that's for a variety of reasons. And one, you're coming to February, Black History Month, Legislative Month, a lot of library-sponsored zero revenue. That's pretty much the whole month. So you're coming through those months where we're giving the space away. And I'm pumping the brakes because I know I'm going to leave next month, and you don't want a whole lot on the books. You want that transition to be smooth. Let the new person get up to speed. So that's another reason we're not bringing in any money.
And we were
right now.
closed. Maine was down in this, when we're talking about this fiscal year, Maine was closed for the
For 3 months.
HVAC as well.
And am I understanding that government does not pay, any government entity, it's just Metro Nashville government, so none of those, they don't pay for the service?
If any metro entity wants to use our space, they get to do it for free.
Okay.
So I think a little bit different. I'm processing because I wasn't at last month's meeting. I might say something that may be a little bit controversial, so put it on layaway, don't email me. So I believe on our salary level, it won't hurt us. But after hearing from the branch manager and the people that he is serving, this may be an opportunity for them to experience something more on the luxury level that would benefit them. So I'm kind of careful about, should we really increase price? Because Nashville is an event city, and we have a whole lot of venues already, and I don't want to necessarily compete with private businesses. I want us to continue to still be an opportunity for our citizens, especially for those who cannot afford the events or the venues that maybe some of us on this board can do. And I get what you're saying.
After my own heart, I'm retiring. What's it matter?
It does matter.
I'm retiring. What I'm about to confess is we have groups during library hours, and I do all the labor, dying of breast cancer. They have nothing. And they come to the library, they see that we do weddings, and that's their dream in a beautiful location, and they can't afford it. Some were at no charge in the gallery, and some was just a mere $500 and get a little cake. I've got some linen put back that I bought just for these people who have nothing, who are losing everything, and those are gratifying. When you're tired and these long weddings, the brides these days, oh my goodness, you should double my salary just having to put up with them. It's just, they're difficult. But exciting. Events are exciting, and I love them. And if it's staffed just right, I think it's a win-win. But I'm with you, people who want to have something in the Nashville Public Library. Something beautiful, a major life experience, make it affordable. I mean, and those have meant more to me than any of the larger revenue-generating weddings.
So that, to me, that's sort of a strategic question that we ask as what are we as a library and what do we do for the community? I'm with you. I think it's way more interesting to create a structure that doesn't wear you out, that lets people who want to do something not grand necessarily, but just use our beautiful spaces. Are we talking about only Maine or the branches too? I mean, there are some beautiful spaces across the city. And the only government entity on the list of wedding venue is the Parthenon. And so, I mean, these other guys aren't really relevant to us. I mean, certainly there are revenue opportunities, but Terry and I were talking yesterday, you could say, if you want to have a wedding at the library, you have to hire this event planner and this, all the jobs. You say, this is with whom we work. And if that suits you, terrific. And it'll cost you $1 or a cajillion, and get out of the way. But I don't know if that's really what we want to do.
Like I hear you saying, like for example, we would have an approved list of caterers, an approved list of somebody that would know the space, and so approved vendors. What would we have to do with metro government to do that kind of thing?
I'm not sure, but
She would know.
I bet you do, Susan.
Susan knows.
Well, I mean, since Metro is not paying for it, we wouldn't necessarily have a provided list. I mean,
Okay.
Metro, other than having the facility in which to have it, we shouldn't be in control of who they get.
But could we have an approved list, though? I mean,
What would be how would you categorize that? How would you judge them? What's the criteria?
And I have to jump it again. The word is opportunity. So if we go with this approved list, we're taking opportunity away from some of our citizens that is trying to develop a business to do these type of services. So, sorry, I know I'm pushing back, but
yeah.
I'm just thinking
It's
about
a great discussion. I
the less
appreciate
fortunate as well.
questions and the comments. Who was next? You, Katie?
I think it really does, and I'm thinking back on last month's meeting, I think, and particularly with Georgia's retirement, which is it's a real blow, Georgia, to the rest of us that you've decided to have a birthday every year and that you want to retire. But there's no question that I feel like from what we see here, if we had that the library is a place where people would like to get married, whether they have no money or whether they have a lot of money. It is an absolutely beautiful venue. If you do something like this, there is a tremendous amount of work that goes into it, and there is a tremendous amount of revenue opportunity. But if you don't want to be in the wedding venue business, you shouldn't be in the wedding venue business. And I'm not sure that this board should be saying to this staff, this is what you ought to be doing. I think there are ways, Susan, if that's what you wanted to do, to easily say, these are caterers that we can work with, and these are, and there are plenty of people in Nashville who want to do that. The question is whether we wanted to staff up even to vend out. You know what I mean? There still has to be someone who says, I trust these people, I know that there still will have to be somebody to unlock the doors and to lock the doors, and to make sure that whomever is there doing the food cleans up. I mean, that's what the foundation has to do after the gala every year. And I think it's really a question of whether this is something that the library wants to be in the business of doing. And I'm not sure at this juncture we want to be in the business of doing it. I don't want to be, as a board member, saying, well, you ought to be in the business of doing it, because I think it'd be a fun place to get married. I'm not going to get married again, so.
Well, you know, you look at corporate events, and you build relationships. You usually work with professional meeting planners, and they are a cakewalk. And you get donations from the experiences and from the conference center. You get these one-and-dones, and they will tear the place apart. And corporate, you can fly tandem. And weddings, it's a fight. I mean, it's some of the requests I've gotten, from babysitting to sewing buttons on to people nearly spitting on me because I took their red wine away. It's they're interesting.
Right.
Well, that's why I think, we need to look at it from revenue standpoint. How much revenue would we produce? And if we had, I don't want to say required, but a recommended list of vendors, and raise a price so that we would have staff there to open up and shut down. But a lot of that would be the event itself would have to come from, that recommended, and all that planning, all the other things. We'd have to figure out how much the cost would be and see, is it worth it? So some
but
kind
I'm-
of cost analysis. Go
I'm
ahead,
listening
Rosalind.
to hear, and what I have not heard is staff saying they want to do this. We're talking a great deal about the costs, and surely the comparison information is very good. But it means nothing if the staff does not want to do
The
this.
staff that works the weddings does not want to do them. If we could fly tandem and layer staff in, rather than it be a 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, day, then, I like to hear that cash register ring as well as the next person. I want that till full. But at what cost? And I think a few tweaks, having every library person on board, we're doing a wedding, and it's not called Georgia, but you too can have a little bit of an answer, a doc person, someone just to take some of the pressure off of us. If it was a shorter day, and they're all going to be hard, and I'm not afraid of hard work, but it's too much for our very small staff.
Is there any kind of an event planning association or professionals that we could?
Yeah, there is.
I bet there is. I don't know
I'm
it.
sure there is, to even find out, would they be interested in partnering? Again, we would raise a fee, and we just open up and shut down, and the event planner would have to do everything else.
It's two very
I think a
different.
simple answer to this, sorry, just real quickly, Rosalind, is we adopt the New York Public Library's fee structure, and whoever wants to follow with that, we'll give them a wedding.
Yeah.
It's 600,000 to $1 million plus.
$600,000, yeah, for 250 people.
I'm being a little facetious, but
Yeah.
I need to unpack it, though, as it relates to, these are two very different issues. And I would like for us to discuss it differently, because we have a real capacity issue to deliver on these services. That's the one. Then the two becomes, if we are to do it, at what cost financially, and what does that include? Does it include a list of possible event planners that will take responsibility for the event itself? But I think that we really do need to hear what staff is saying. They don't want to do this.
right.
Okay.
Even if, do we hear you saying, even if you partnered with event planners, you wouldn't want to do it?
There are great event planners. Bruce Pittman, for example, he rolls in there, and he makes such a huge difference. He brings a huge staff. He knows that library inside and out.
What I'm saying.
And those are the ones it's Bruce is on board, and that we
Right.
get excited. We have other wedding planners, which I like to call jackleg wedding planners. They thought they had a pizza party in their basement and thought they can do events and hung a shingle out.
I'm glad you're frank.
They are, so you better be careful.
Right. Go ahead. Well, yeah, okay. could we, and I know we have one other agenda item we must do. I'm just wondering, could we talk to a wedding planner group to see if there would be any interest? But again, I hear what Rosalind is saying. We talk about two different things. We're talking about two different things.
And Georgia's retiring.
And Georgia's
So
retired.
who would be on first to deliver any of these services? Do we have a position?
We have somebody who's coming on board, right?
Carla? I'm here. It's my assistant.
I thought I had met you, yeah.
I'm listening.
Because you work with us.
I bet you
And
are.
she isn't.
They work with us
Wait,
for the
wait.
Gulf South
Sherry.
Center and everything. Sherry.
To replace Georgia, there will be a civil service process. We have to follow the civil service process. Once Georgia retires, her job will be posted. Anyone internal or external can apply for the position, and then the position will be filled.
But you would have a redefinition of the position if you were talking about being a major event
It depends on
manager.
what, if there's a difference in the job duties, then yes.
Right. So, why did this come up last month? Weddings.
This came up last month because Kyle Barber, who's our interim assistant director for Maine, had spoken to the staff. We knew Georgia was going to be retiring and trying to think about the recommendation from Georgia and the team was that, this was something that when Kent came on board, we didn't do weddings before then, and he came on board and wanted to do weddings. And so there was never staff that was added. It was just, you're going to do the weddings. And so I think that, the other thing I would just say is we have to also think about, you would have to charge enough for the wear and tear on the facility. Because if somebody spills red wine on the marble, that's a huge deal. And you can say that the
We don't
bride's...
allow red wine.
Sorry?
We don't allow red wine.
Yes, but they have
Georgia's
done
saying They
that.
sneak it in.
They try to sneak it in, this
Try,
is
but
true.
I'm good.
And I saw it in when we had our last event, I forgot what it was, the library was on. Somebody was sneaking it.
Wow.
They were sneaking in the, what do you call the little
Those little
bottles?
bottles?
And it was not the event people, it was the other people upstairs, yeah. And I saw it firsthand, yeah, because I picked up part of it. But
And I'm
anyway,
kind of
so what's
following
your
up.
pleasure?
I
I'm
wanna-
gonna say, because it's one.
Right.
It's 18? And we have to get to this other item of business. This is still old business on the agenda. What's your pleasure to what you want to do with this item?
Well, I was going to add one more, not complication, but I hope it makes it easier to follow what Kyle asked us to do last month. And that is, even if we added extra staff, even if we had a list of event planners that we like to work with, there's still complications in terms of, okay, we have 5 planners, all of whom may be more expensive than someone feels as they could afford to pay to be at the library. I mean, it's complicated, as Rosalind says, on so many levels. We know as a board that at this time, at this date, the library staff does not feel as though this is something they want to take on or to staff up. So at this stage in the game, I think we ought to say, we don't do weddings. And if we want to revisit it at some point in the future, if we think there's a great revenue opportunity and we have, it's always something we can always bring back up again. But it seems like we'd be mighty hard pressed to do this in a way that would make our staff feel like they are not overworked and also make the public feel like they're getting what they paid for at this stage in the game.
So, and you know what? It's a moot point for a little while until
Yeah.
the library comes back
Yeah.
on full, till we get, because we still have to figure out what's the status of, everything
do the
that we
assessment.
regarded from the needs assessment, we don't know. So what I hear everybody saying is if we would discontinue weddings
Pause it.
until, until such time that, and we don't have to have a motion or anything on this, but until such time as repairs are being made, we know what staff we're gonna do, and maybe the staff would have more discussion on what it would take to do it, and you bring back some recommendations on either staff, or do we want to partner with event agents, and how we would do that. I think we throw it back to staff.
So basically, we're pausing it to bring official structure
Yeah.
to this service.
Thank you, Charles.
So how will that information be communicated to the public? Is it
Oh, good
until
idea.
further notice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can work with Andrea and Georgia, and we can get something out.
Okay, thank you. Is that okay, Rosalind?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so we have our last item is to vote on Terry's vacation. And just to, because I know, Tyrus, you were not here last week. In Terry's from her previous employer, and due to tenure there, she had gotten 6 weeks of vacation. Currently, as interim, she was receiving 3 weeks of vacation. And last month, we said that we wanted to discuss whether or not we would grant a request to receive 4 weeks of vacation. So I think that's where we are. Is that current, right, stated right from last month?
Is this a motion request?
Well, you can do what you want with it. I just giving you the information.
Due to the fact that Terry have served multiple positions in her transition, I move to grant her the 4 weeks vacation that is requested.
There's a motion on the floor to grant 4 weeks of vacation in the capacity of director. Any
I think that's a good idea. I'll second that.
Second.
Yeah.
Rosalind seconds. We got another second from
Yeah.
Kate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Terry,
Thank you.
we do want mental health
Thanks.
balance here, I think.
Before we leave, this will take 2
No,
seconds.
okay.
Can we please recognize Georgia before her retirement
Oh,
with a round of applause?
absolutely.
Because she's done an amazing
And I want to tell you, I love for people to see the library, and so we recommended that we have, remember we brought the people from Ireland to the library from that reception with the mayor's office, the Sister Cities event, and then we had the Gulf South Summit. We had, how many universities? I want to say 200 universities bring representatives to Nashville. And Georgia did all of that. I mean, everybody who has just loved working with her. And I just want to say, we just appreciate you, because you make the job so easy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sorry. First of all, so I want to thank this board for the increase in my salary and also in my vacation. It is appreciated. But I also, when I was giving kudos earlier about the fire in the garage, Mark Crowder,
Yes.
he literally called, he got the alarm notice, he got in his car, got there at, 1:30 in the morning, called me at 3, and literally was in that building until I got there. I think Susan and I got there about 11 or 11:30. The maintenance staff, Kelvin and Dan and Mike Binkley, they have all been there and just, do whatever it takes that's necessary to coordinate with the restoration company. And I want to thank the foundation because they brought in lunch last Thursday for the folks on staff. So I think everybody's just doing whatever they can to help make a situation that's not so pleasant more,
Please they're not here today, but please thank them all for us.
Well, I can't say enough about my staff. They are top-notch,
They
so.
are top-notch.
Yep.
Thank you. And thank you. Thank you, Susan. Anybody, I see, that's you just doing your head. I thought he had his finger up for recognition. So we need a motion for adjournment.
I have one other thing.
Yes,
One
sir.
quick thing. If you look in the notes around page 33 or whatever, NECAT, I see you. You're doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing some great things. Keep it up.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. We have you moving for adjournment, Kate. Needs no second. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. We did a lot today.
That's great. And tonight we'll know the council votes on budget.
Oh.